water, earth, fire, air. Long ago, the four nations lived together in harmony. Then, everything changed when the Fire Nation attacked. Only the Avatar, master of all four elements, could stop them. But when the world needed him most, he vanished. 100 years passed and my brother and I discovered the new Avatar, an airbender named Aang. And although his airbending skills are great, he has a lot to learn before he's ready to save anyone. But I believe Aang can save the world.
Hey again, everybody. Welcome back to the Avatar Vlogs. This is episode 24, The Swamp. And this is an episode where I can't really say it got any better or any worse. It just kind of stayed the same. This is an episode I liked decently as a kid. And it's a decent episode now. I can't say it does anything super spectacular aside from kind of the philosophy it introduces at the end. But, you know, it's an okay episode. So Team Avatar has left Omashu and they're traveling the Earth Kingdom in search of an earthbending teacher when they're flying over a swamp that almost seems to be beckoning them. It's calling them in, sort of. Sokka's a little apprehensive, saying, I don't know if we should go down there. It's a little ominous, but a tornado out of nowhere comes. It brings down Team Avatar. Appa, Momo, and the rest of the kids are separated, and now they have to spend their time finding Appa and getting out of the swamp before something catches up to them. They don't know what, but something seems to be following them. And from there, the episode is just kind of focusing on these characters going through the swamp and having hallucinogenic visions of people they used to know because the swamp is kind of playing with their minds as it tries to get them to where they want to be. A very straightforward episode in terms of plot. There's not a ton going on in this one. It does kind of split plots between the main guys, a little bit of delving into Zuko, starting to become more of a desperate thief in his quest to kind of stay alive, as well as him being even more angsty, because he's never not going to be angsty in this show. He's a very angsty teen. But the focus, again, is mostly where it needs to be, which is on Team Avatar trying to get out of this swamp. And for the most part, it does it well. Personally, I wish this environment took place in maybe more of just a plain forest rather than a swamp. I know why they took a swamp, because a swamp it's usually very ugly. It's a very kind of unpleasant place. There's bugs, there's water, there's all sorts of creatures you don't know. And that does kind of play into their journey of trying to get out as best they can. But I wish this took place in something just like a weird, magical Tolkien-esque style forest. It's wishful thinking, I know. But other than that, that's about much I can say about it. It's mostly them just trying to get out of the swamp. And it does it well. It does lead to a lot of good interactions. I do like the relationship all these characters have. But the episode, to me, doesn't really get tremendously good until the end, where they come across this guy who's been stalking them the whole time as this giant vine monster. And this is a typical kind of message for the show, but it is one that I do always find poignant and very necessary, but about how all life and all things in the world are connected. Now, in the case of the swamp, it's a giant bangrove or banyo, I think they call it a bangrove tree, that has spread out over miles, and it's all a single organism, which is based off of a real-life tree. But he uses this point basically to say how all things in the world are connected, like all people, all living creatures. Even though we live as though we are divided, we are all on the same planet, just breathing and trying to be one with each other. And he does say this line, time is an illusion and so is death, which time is kind of an illusion, debatably, even scientifically, because we can only really measure time based on how things break apart and decay, whether it be living things or the rocks or the mountains, and how things just slowly break apart over time. But death is an illusion. I don't know. I mean, I get where they're going with that, how it's all like life and death is just a transfer of energy. It's just a cycle in the greater thing. But at the same time, I don't know how much I'm fully on board with that notion death is an illusion. Like, I know what he's saying, how you're never fully separate from those who you love. Like, as long as you remember the things they taught you, they'll always be one with you. I'm not saying that's a problem. I'm just saying it's one of those elements that I kind of don't fully subscribe to yet, but it's kind of like how so many people I know love Boromir from Lord of the Rings, but for me it was like, I'm not quite there yet. Maybe one more watch and I'll finally get it, but for now it's like, he's a good idea, but he's not a great character. But anyway, the only thing about this episode that I used to dislike, but I've kind of warmed up to, are the swamp people. I used to hate them because I usually hate this sort of idea, but the swamp people are very funny. They're very likable. They're only really dislikable because they're trying to hunt Appa. But then again, if you're a swamp guy and you're just trying to find a meal, why wouldn't you chase the giant beaver buffalo thing and the little lemur that's with it? And they are funny. They are waterbenders, which is kind of cool. It's nice to see waterbending practices outside of the North and the South Pole, and it's in a swamp. That makes sense. There would be waterbenders here. There's not a ton to this episode. I will say, for Sokka's quote of the day, I kind of used 2 clips in this one because I couldn't quite decide which one was better. So there's 2 clips.
And now Avatar The Last Airbender Vlogs presents to you Sokka's quote of the day.
Sokka, you've got an elbow leech.
Where?
Where do you think?
Why do things keep attaching to me?
But what about when the tree showed me where Appa and Momo were?
That's Avatar stuff. That doesn't count.
Yeah, and this one's very short because I just don't have a lot to say about this episode. I guess there's one thing. This episode gives a foreshadow for a character we're going to see later on in the show. And again, that's about it. I don't know if you wanted me to say more or less, but I don't have a lot to say about this episode. It's okay. It's got a decent ending. It's got some decent philosophy, but for the most part, it's just an okay episode. There's nothing great or terrible about it. But with that said, I'll cut this one a little short. I'll see you in the next one. Until next time, onwards and upwards, my friends.
Still, there's absolutely nothing mysterious about the swamp.